Hello there, and welcome to There to Live with Mary. How are you doing? Trust you're doing very well. Have you been listening to the podcast? I hope that you have. And also, please do not keep this juicy information to yourself. Get to share with other people too. Let them also receive light, just like you are. Receiving light. Please share. It's very important. Let the world go round. Awesome. Mm. So in the last podcast, I talked about how valuable you are. I started with stating your worth because for a very long time, I didn't know that I was worth it. I didn't know that, I had gotten into many situations, different seasons, and different, situations really in my life where I questioned. I never thought I was good enough for anything. Yeah, shocker. There are a lot of people who are literally walking, amidst people and walking around the earth with all smiles, acting like they've all got it together. But really, when you strip them off of whatever it is, you realize how empty and how worthless they feel about themselves. I was that person who didn't think that I was valuable. I was that person who didn't think that I had anything to offer anybody. So I just did stuff, and carried around that ego of I'm not worthy, And I mean, it even affected my relationship with God because half of the time, you know, um, I would come to Him in prayer and from a place of fear and from a place of will He do it, will He not do it? Okay, who was that? It was okay. So I'm trying to remember something. Like a very like a type of Yoruba play. Not 10-10, but something like that. Like shoje koje something like that. Shoje koje koje that kind of thing. So I had a gambling thing up in my head. Like okay, will he do it? Will he not do it? What am I really? Why will I come and ask him? This one. So many questions and so many funny ideas going through my head. And so what changed for me was you'll be amazed to know that all of a sudden, so I think it was in 2020 during the beginning of COVID, and um, I remember sitting by the window side and I was working on my laptop, work stuff, and all of a sudden I can't exactly remember the clear words now, but I'll just say it as it comes to mind, literally, and this is what I heard that seek to become a woman of value. That was exactly yeah, that was exactly how I heard it. Seek to become a woman of value. That okay. So let me be plain. let me let me say it the way that it came because I'm just trying so hard to not be but I think maybe sometime in another podcast I'll probably share the background gist to this thing that I heard. And it says that but for me it was talking from the angle of relationship because at that point I was thinking relationship, because I think my heart had just been broken. Oh. So I was in a mess. And what I heard was virginity is not the only thing that you have to add in a relationship, or basically in a marriage. It's not, how for a very long time we've had a notion as girls that oh, the very special package that you are offering a man like is if you give it to him that's the end, the most valuable thing ever that you'll ever offer as a woman will be your virginity. And how they kind of spiked this information into us from when we're younger. You have to be a virgin for your husband. He has to do this, he has to do that. And I didn't know where that came from. Like, but in that moment, it just dawned on me. There's more to your life than just just thinking that this is what adds value. This is all that you're valuable for. I don't know if I hope this makes some sort of sense. But this was how it came. Like it literally just broke that belief. It literally broke that ideology that had been imprinted in me for a very long time. And that was the beginning of my unveiling to the journey of value, if that makes any sense. And started to give me an analysis of the Proverbs 31 woman. I mean, sometimes I think we basically like over exaggerate. And at a point, I was of the notion that how can one woman be doing all of that thing? She's this, she's that, she's this, she's that. I'm like, wow, one person, such capacity. But looking at myself now and the growth journey that I've had in the last, particularly 3 years now, I think I understand where Proverbs 31 woman, it's not so much the things that she was doing, but was more of the state of mind and the person that she was becoming. So I think that what Proverbs 31 woman really is trying to do for us, and not even just women really, but as individuals and as human beings, is that you have the capacity to be so much more. So do not be confined to a particular ideology, or maybe because you've heard things being said over time. A lot of us are literally like living on imprints from the past, things that transferred imprints. I call them transferred imprints because their ideologies, they're not really authentically, they're not yours. You pick them up from either your mom or your dad, and the environment you lived in or you were growing up in as a young person and all of that. And so when that reality came in, I'm like, wow. So that's not all that you get to bring to the table. There's so much more to you. Just as I'm saying to somebody who's listening to this podcast, that there's so much more to you. I know that you might have been training just one area of your life for a very long time, thinking, oh, this is it, we go die here, this is what we have to offer. But hey, seek to become a person of value. And then another insight that I started getting recently is the fact that value is a currency that a lot of people are yet to even discover. So recently, I walked into a is that word correct? But I walked into a relationship. If I should, and when I say relationship, I don't mean with the opposite sex. I mean, collaboration with someone. And for some reason, she said something to me that I started to think of again. When we think about, a lot of us are just thinking only at the money level, but there's a higher level. The moment you begin to think value, you are really escalated from the level of just money. Now, money is just a tool and will help you get some things. Guys, of course, money is good. Like, we have to have this money. You have to have this money to be able to get certain things and to be comfortable. No doubt about that. But there's a higher spectrum to this thing, and that is value. Adding value, seeking to become a person of value. Now, to seek to become a person of value, you must first understand that you're valuable. And then the journey begins. And I think that's why I started with the podcast, You're Valuable to God, just putting you in that mental space so that you feel yourself with that mental, that energy, that aura that you're valuable and that there's something that you have to offer. Right? And so it started for me where this person then said, okay, you know what? So you can't afford this thing, but there's something that you have that I'm in need of. Why don't we do an exchange? So you get this service that I'm offering while I get for payment what you have. And that just like that shook me like out. Because I've been thinking that you know what? I mean, there are some things I can't afford yet and all of that. But then getting to work into a relationship and then hearing somebody else say that, it just it took me out. Like I was just like, yes, this is it. Yes, this is it. Value is a currency also. So I'm saying that seek to be a person of value, right? How do you get to become a person of value? First, you must understand that there's something valuable about you and that God has made investment in you. If you are wondering, I'm not just talking on a spiritual level only, but I'm talking on every area of your life. There are people in your life that God has brought your way that have added value to you. Sit down and think about it really. That have added value to you, either relationship wise, either financially, either career wise. That's value. And there has been investment trainings that you also have had to undergo over the course of the years. So there's been like a groundwork happening already inside of you. I'm just here to encourage you to push further, right? To not just receiving value from others, to now becoming that person of value that everyone who comes into contact with you will leave you and literally just be like, oh yeah, something has been added to me. It won't always be money because I mean, in these times, I feel like we're just so in that space, like, and we say it all the time. Even I have said it to like, guy. If money no day, if money no involve, come on me for that thing. If money no day, she money day. Somebody calls you and says, oh, something. They want to have a conversation with you or something like that. Just like how far involve money. If you don't involve money, I no deal. I mean, we say that in as jokes and all of that, but then really think about it. So seek to become a person of value where add to yourself, make investment, intentional investment in yourself also, that when you get to areas in your life where there are services from other people that you need and you're not able to exactly put down money, how about you say to the person, you know what? This is what I can offer. This is what I have. This is what I've been trained in. This is what I've trained myself in. How do you think that this thing that I have can be used in exchange for your service? I mean, that's really how money also started. It was one man's idea that just possibly woke up one morning and they just started, oh, let's just exchange money, okay, goods and services, exchange for goods and services, and all of that. Okay, so I want to buy turkey, I go to the this thing, and then I'll render money. So there's where money will work, right? And there's also where value, will also work as a currency. So value is a currency. So as a valuable person, just imagine how much wealth you're carrying on the inside of you, how much impact, how much influence you have. So seek to become that person of value that when people are having conversations about you, because I mean, literally everybody will have conversations, people will have conversations about you either way. But let it be that this person comes into your life and they know that when you leave, they feel it. So seek to become that person. Seek to add value to other people's life. One of the things that it will do to you is that it will boost your sense of worthiness to see how much value you're adding to other people. That's one of the things that will happen to you. One, discover, understand it, sink it into your head. Maybe if you have to sing it, you have to rhyme it. I'm valuable, I'm valuable, I'm valuable, I'm valuable, I'm valuable to God. I have value to give, I'm valuable to people. Anyone that comes in contact with me, I have value to give them, I have value to add to them. If you think from that perspective, in a matter of time, you just see yourself really in another place entirely. First, mentally, you have to do that mental work before you begin to then see the manifestations, and all of that. So, in essence, my message really is to seek to become a person of value, give value, add value to people's life, be value, understand that you're value, understand that you've got investment being made daily on you, and then seek to become that person that gets to add more to people instead of just, wasting time. So yeah, now I'm very intentional about relationships. I'm just thinking, okay, am I gonna add value to this person? Is this person going to add value to me? If you're not adding value to me, then it really will just be like I'm being drained. So that's how it's supposed to be really. So seek to become a person of value. It increases your sense of worthiness. It does so much. And one of the things you have to learn to keep your promises as a person of value. Integrity, honesty, loyalty, they are key ingredients of value. They're key ingredients of value. I mean, yes, I know that you've been hurt. Yes, I know that people have said things to you and all of that that has Maybe it put you in a space of being betrayed and all of that. But then you can change that narrative by becoming that person that gives honesty. That with you, what you say is what it is. That's what it is to you. There's really no hidden agenda, and you keep your promises. So seek to become a person of value. It's a journey, really. It's an ongoing journey. The more you invest in yourself, intentionally remind yourself that you've got value to give, you're valuable, the better at it you become. You begin to encounter so many amazing things in your life, and you begin to find, for someone who feels like they are not good enough and all of that, the moment you begin to think of yourself that I have something to give, I have something to offer, it will really change your mindset about not being good enough. You begin to see yourself that I'm good enough, I have something to offer. So, yeah, seek to become a person of value and be valuable. Thank you.